Hi everybody. I wanted to come on today to talk about a recent trend and grievance within, I guess, the cosmetology field with clients and providers. Um Lately I've been noticing, and it's kind of like common knowledge now. A lot of people are talking about it, but a lot of stylists, be it braiders or people who do weaves and wigs and stuff, they recently excuse me, started enforcing uh some policies and procedures that are kind of not going over well with potential clients and even current clients and customers. But also, to the clients and customers, there's a reason why some of these policies and procedures are put in place. Now, some of it might be just because, they may not want to wash your hair, they don't want to blow your hair out, they don't want to do these things. But also, when a person is operating as a natural hair stylist and they are not licensed to perform cosmet cosmetological, anyway, I'm trying to say the words. If they're not licensed to perform certain services on you, they legally cannot do that. So I'm not sure if washing hair or blowing it out or maybe giving you a certain scalp treatment or something like that, legally, I don't believe that if you are unlicensed you can do certain things. So that can be part of the reason. But also, to those who do render services, I would encourage you to go ahead and get licensed in your state, because there are benefits and protections to that. Because, worst case scenario, something happens and someone wants to sue you or take you to court for whatever reason, you can have your documentation to show that you are legally um, allowed to render services in your state. Because if give somebody a cut and color and they have an allergic reaction, and then, they want to take you to court, not only will, you be in a lot of trouble, but you're going to have fines and stuff to pay. I don't know if they put people in jail or not, but, you want to do your due diligence to protect yourself. And not only that, when you're licensed and certified, you can actually charge more for your services. A lot of people go to um, folks they find on Instagram or other social media outlets to do their hair, because they think that, since they're not in a shop or they're not licensed, they can get, superb styles and services for cheap. And, it's kind of a detriment to yourself as a stylist, as a braider, because, you're doing, a lot of these people do excellent work and it's worth paying for, but you're kind of short selling yourself when you don't charge what the services are worth. So, if a lot of, like, out here in LA, you can go to Trade Tech. I think the program is like a year, maybe 18 months or something like that. That's not a long time. And you can work and still go to school. You're already braiding, you're already doing certain things that, you can do legally anyway, that you won't have to worry about that aspect of it. But also, like, it's kind of off-putting when somebody, is getting their hair done and then, and this has happened multiple times. I've seen this online. Like, the stylist or the braider is like recording, going in, talking about or complaining that somebody's hair isn't blown out straight enough, or it's not, like, they're coming to you for a service because, one, they don't want to do their hair themselves, or two, they don't know how. So it doesn't take, it's not hard to blow out somebody's hair. It's not hard to, go over it one time with the comb or whatever you got to do to get their hair in the state that you needed to be to perform your services. You know, in the most recent one that's been going around was the girl. She was actually in the girl's hair braiding, and she was like talking about she charged an inconvenience fee because she's inconvenienced because the girl's hair wasn't I guess she wanted it to be flat iron. Like, I don't know who's gonna take the time to flat iron their hair to get it braided. Like, by the time you flat iron your hair, you can like whip your hair, just wear it flat iron. Like, who wants to do that? That's like extra. So it's like, if you require certain things, charge what you need to charge so that you can perform these services. I know a lot of people are liking to get out in a certain amount of time. So if I'm coming to you washed and blow dried already, and you're doing like cornrows on me or whatever, or the lemonade braids, or even box braids in individuals, like, yeah, that's taking like maybe 20 minutes off the total time it takes to do my hair. But at the same time, it's like, you know how the hair needs to be so that you can do your best work. Your client can't necessarily make the hair or put the hair in the state that you want it to be. So it's like, it's really easier for you to do it. You may not want to do it, you may not feel like doing it, but it's really easier and in your best interest to do it so you can make sure that it's the way it needs to be. Because if for any reason it doesn't come out right, then the client could potentially be like disheartened or whatever because their hair doesn't look the way they thought it was going to look. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, the stylist is blaming the client because the hair they didn't make the hair look the way it needed to look, but they're not the professional. So that's just something to think about. Just overall, I've been noticing a decline in customer service and customer care. Even when you're operating as an entrepreneur and as a sole proprietor of a business, you still have to make sure that you are providing the best customer service for your clients. And these are, you don't just want a customer, you want clients, you want return clients that are coming to you and giving recommendations. So hopefully, if you're watching this, you can like kind of think about that. Most of the people I know who do hair do excellent work, and they're very, very nice people, and they have return clients. But when I'm like scrolling through Instagram, and I'm just seeing these people just like going off on the client for not doing their own hair, is just like mind-boggling to me. Another thing, a lot of people, they complain about, paying deposits. Now, deposits are a way to ensure that you are going to come to your appointment. And it's really a booking fee or a retainer because the stylist is taking out that time slot for you. So when they make an appointment and then you don't show up, the likelihood of someone booking that time slot at the last minute, if you cancel in the last minute, is slim to none. So when we like require a retainer or a booking fee to hold your appointment, that not only does that go towards the total. So like if your style is $100 and you pay the $25 booking fee, you only owe $75 once your services are rendered. So it's like you were going to pay that anyway. You're really just holding your spot. And when it's not refundable, you might be able to get like a rescheduling or whatever, but that's like, you can't be perpetually wasting people's time. And so this is just really just like an insurance policy for the stylist, that you are going to come on the time that you said you're going to come. So, you're going to pay that money anyway. So it's like a little prepay. It's like buying a ticket rather. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Um, oh yeah, and like when you see people going off on clients and just being nasty and just not nice, you don't have to patronize their business. You don't have to, sit there and get disrespected. Um, it just really makes me sad that people do that. And it makes it hard, or it creates another element of stress surrounding getting your hair done, because there's already people who like might have to stay up late to get their hair done, or miss work to get their hair done, or use their only off day to get their hair done, or something like that. Then it has to last. Some people are saving up for these services. You just want to go get your hair done and relax, and then be happy with the end result. You don't want to be around like someone with a nasty disposition, because when someone comes to sit in your chair, or when you're sitting in somebody's chair and their hands are in your head, there's a transfer of energy, there's a transfer of spirit in that sense as well. Anytime you're in contact with someone else's body, especially the head, like, you don't want to be imposing your energy on somebody. You don't want to be absorbing some negativity because someone just, is so entitled and feels like they can do and say whatever they want when it pertains to their business, which in theory, yeah, you can, but on the grand scale, like, you should not want to operate that way. You want to create a very calm and inviting environment for people. And that's what you should really be looking for when you're searching out someone to do your hair. And also, crap, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah. Oh, getting second opinions on services. So for like people who don't know how much something costs, ask around, ask your friends who um, have gotten a certain style or service that you want, and ask how much it costs. Look online. If you're starting out and you don't know how much you should charge for services, you can look online or call shops and ask, how much are your crochet braids? How much are your Senegalese twists? And there's a one shop that's like in New York that I looked at their prices. They have them posted so you can know what's the going rate, because you don't want to shortchange yourself and you don't want to overprice yourself out of clients. And see what the going rate in your area is. But also, just in general, stylists should be charging more for these services. There hasn't been, like, in almost 20 years, people are still expecting to get, box braids and individuals for 40, 50, 60, $75. And like, unless it's like jumbo dookie braids for like $75, like, and even that's cheap. Like, this is, a lot of braiders stand up, a lot of braiders, they're braiding for hours at a time. Some don't take breaks. I hope that people do, but you want to get the person's hair done and get it out the way. And they do excellent work. Like, these girls and guys are braiding and doing beautiful work. Like, charge, what the cost of living is where you live at. What the like the highest minimum wage is in LA. $12 to $15 is like minimum wage. $15 an hour for a certain service. You can calculate that. And then, like, to me, like, it might not even be that much. So certain styles and stuff, a lot of the stuff should be starting at $100. That's what I personally believe. You shouldn't be touching nobody's hair for less than $100. So just think about that. Do some research on both ends, clients and stylists. Do your research. If you have questions, comments, hit me in the comments or the DM. Email too. I'm here to answer any questions anybody might have. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about locks and things like that, since I do have locks. But you guys have a great day. I think it's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. So have a great weekend. Be safe. God bless.